This. This behavior is unacceptable at our family table.
Maya, explain to me, where is the $500,000 medical research fund I established in your name 7 years ago? Grandma Josephine's voice cut through the Christmas dinner like a scalpel through tissue. The scent of pine and roasted duck turned metallic in my mouth. I watched my wine glass tremble in my hand. $15 an hour at the university lab, double shifts 6 days a week. And she's talking about $500,000? Grandma, I don't understand. What fund? My mother's fork clattered against her plate. Dad's hand shot to his collar. Amber, my sister, draped in her new Cartier bracelet, went absolutely still. Josephine's eyes, sharp as they'd been when she left for her research fellowship in Geneva a year ago, didn't leave my face. But I caught it. The slight shift of her gaze toward my parents. She wasn't confused. She was hunting. You're telling me, she said slowly, that you don't know about the trust fund I created specifically for your graduate research? The one that required your signature to access. The room tilted. Because I'd never signed anything. The question hung in the air. But my mind was already rewinding. 12 months of carefully constructed reality, unspooling like thread. It started the week after Grandma left for Geneva. Mom had poured me tea in the sunroom, her face arranged in sympathetic lines. Sweetheart, we need to talk about Josephine's will. She's getting older. She's decided to simplify things. The research fund idea, she's abandoned it. I'd believed her. Why wouldn't I? Then came the requests. Small at first. Just $500 for Amber's bridesmaid dress shopping. You know how tight things are. Then larger. Your sister's wedding deposit. Family helps family, Maya. You'll understand when you're married. I gave everything. Picked up a weekend shift at the campus bookstore. Tutored undergrads at midnight. Ate ramen while Amber posted photos from Bali, from wine country, from boutique hotels with infinity pools. Dad would pat my shoulder. You're the responsible one, kiddo. Amber needs more support. I'd see them at Sunday dinners, radiating success. Mom's new Hermes bag. Dad's Tesla upgrade. Amber's engagement ring that costs more than my annual salary. And I worked. And I believed I was the failure, the one who couldn't make it work, the daughter who'd somehow missed the inheritance because I wasn't special enough. The scent of pine brought me back to the present. To Grandma's unblinking stare. To the word signature. Something shifted in my chest. The fog of shock began to clear, replaced by something sharper. I met Grandma's eyes. Then, for the first time in 12 months, I smiled. They intercepted your letters, I said quietly. All of them. You sent them to my apartment, but Mom has a key. She told me you'd stopped writing because you were disappointed in my career choices. Victoria's hand flew to her throat. Maya, what are you? I found one. I continued, my voice stronger. Last week. Wedged behind the radiator where Mom must have missed it. The envelope with the Geneva postmark. The one where you told me to meet you at the airport. Grandma stood, tall and regal despite her 72 years. December 23rd. Terminal C. We had coffee for 3 hours. You told me about the fund. The full amount. The original terms. I turned to my parents. The requirement that only I could access it, with biometric verification and in-person signature. Impossible to forge. Dad's face turned purple. You're working together? You planned this. Oh, Robert. Grandma's smile was knife-sharp. You thought I spent a year in Europe conducting research. I was conducting an investigation. Every email you sent from Maya's compromised account. Every forged document. Every transaction. This is entrapment. Victoria's riquez. No. Grandma querectid. This is evidence collection. There's a difference. Amber's head swiveled between us. Champagne-drunk confusion giving way to creeping horror. Wait. You've been pretending. For 2 days, I confirmed. The confusion, the shock, all performance. Well, mostly. I looked at my parents with something between pity and disgust. Some of it was real. I genuinely couldn't believe you'd go this far. The dining room door opened. A man in catering blacks entered, but instead of carrying plates, he held a leather portfolio. Thank you for your patience, Miss Chen. He nodded to Grandma, then turned to my parents with professional detachment. Robert and Victoria Thompson? I'm Marcus Webb, licensed private investigator. I need you to remain seated. Dad half rose. You can't. I can and did. Marcus opened the portfolio, spreading documents across the Christmas tablecloth like evidence at a crime scene. Bank of America Trust Division logs. 7 years of records. February 14, 2018. Initial deposit $500,000 under Maya Chen's name and social security number. My stomach lurched seeing it in black and white. Real. It had been real. June 3, 2023. First withdrawal. $52,000. Authorization via power of attorney, signed by Maya Chen. He slid a document toward me. Is this your signature, Ms. Chen? I looked at the swooping letters, the confident flourish. Professional. Nothing like my cramped, perpetually rushed scrawl. No. Confirmed by 3 independent handwriting analysts. Marcus produced another sheet. Metadata analysis of the email communications between Robert Thompson's office and the trust administrator shows coordination from his IP address. Times, dates, specific instructions on fund transfers. He laid out more papers, a damning timeline. August 2023, destination wedding in Tuscany, $68,000. September, down payment on Amber Thompson's condo, $120,000. December, settlement of Victoria Thompson's credit card debt, $47,000. Amber made a choking sound. The remaining funds, Marcus continued calmly, were distributed between investment accounts in Robert and Victoria's names, luxury purchases, and a rather expensive membership to Meadowbrook Country Club. They spent it all, I whispered. Every penny, Grandma confirmed coldly. Silence crashed over the table. Then Amber's chair screeched back. I didn't know. Her voice pitched high, hysterical. They told me it was Mom's inheritance. They said Grandma gave it to them and they were just helping me because family. Amber, shut up, Dad snarled. No. She turned on him, mascara already streaking. You promised me Maya wouldn't find out. You said she'd signed off on everything, that she was happy to help her baby sister. We gave you everything, Mom hissed. Don't you dare. You gave me stolen money. Amber's shriek could have shattered crystal. Do you know what happens to me now? I'm an accomplice. I'll lose my job, my condo. Oh my God, Trevor's going to leave me. You knew the wedding was too expensive, I said softly. You knew I was working 3 jobs. You knew, Amber. They said you were bad with money. Her face crumpled. They showed me your bank statements, said you were spending everything on stupid things, that someone responsible needed to hold the family funds. My bank statements? Rage clean and pure flooded my veins. You went through my financial records? Dad stood, imposing in his custom suit. This is extortion. You come into our home, make these accusations on Christmas. Your home. Grandma's laugh was acid. The one with the mortgage paid off by Maya's trust fund? That home. Victoria lunged across the table at me. You ungrateful little bitch. After everything we've done. Marcus stepped smoothly between us. Mrs. Thompson, I strongly advise against physical contact. She's destroying this family. Victoria screamed. No, I said, finding my voice. You already did that. The police arrived at 9:47 p.m. on Christmas night. I watched through the window as my father was read his rights, his hands cuffed behind his back. Mom wept dramatically. Amber vomited in the snow. Grandma stood beside me, her hand on my shoulder. You don't have to watch this. Yes, I said. Ido. 1 year later, I stood in a different dining room. Smaller. Mini. The table was reclaimed wood, mismatched chairs, string lights instead of a chandelier. But the 12 people crowded around it were laughing, wine flowing, the scent of roasted vegetables, and my very first attempt at duck filling the air. Dr. Sarah Kim from my research team raised her glass. To Maya. First successful trial results on the protein synthesis inhibitor. To the lab. Everyone chorused. Grandma sat at my right hand, elegant as ever. She'd moved back from Geneva. Now we had coffee every Sunday. My phone buzzed. A notification from the property management company. New tenants for the rental, Robert and Victoria Thompson. Approved for the one-bedroom in the converted motel off Highway 9. I'd bought the property at auction. Former value, $1.2 million. Current worth after their bankruptcy, $127,000. I'd outbid them by $1. You're smiling, Grandma observed. They sent a Christmas card, I said, asking for money. And I deleted the notification. Outside the window, snow began to fall. Inside, my chosen family celebrated the work I'd almost never been able to do. I didn't respond, I said. I have research to fund. Grandma clinked her glass against mine. That's my girl. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Beyond the Scripted.